So purpose is the first step which we really look at. If we do not have a purpose, all activities are wonderful. Otherwise, we will not be able to differentiate between productivity and activity. So all things which happen for the purpose is productivity. Otherwise, it is all activity. Now, let me take you to the next part of it, where we are going to discuss now about the potential and passion part of it. And I'll spend a few minutes talking about potential, and then Deepak Da would take up the passion part of it here in our discussion. I'll just remove the annotation, which I forgot to remove. Yeah, and the screen would be clear. So, to talk about the potential part of it in an organization, we normally look at the qualification as the base. And good or bad, this is something which we have always looked at. If a person has passed has done an examination and has got a certificate, we say the person has a potential. Well, how right, how wrong is debatable, and I'll put it to the audience to define that. Do you think that qualification is the right measure of a person's potential, or is it partially right? So if you feel it is right completely, that qualification is equal to potential, do let me know in the chat that you agree to it. If you say it is partial, do let me know in the chat as partial. Then the next very important part of it which comes in is that as managers, our role needs to be to create an hypothesis of a person's potential. That is to bring in a definition that the person knows this and then validate it. Now, many a times we do not believe in a person's potential. That's one way of looking at it. And we say, usko nahi aata, and we handhold him a lot. We support him a lot. We scaffold him a lot. The other kind of a manager, he is a kind of a freelance manager, if I may use that word. He just brings in the idea and says, you must be knowing it. You do, I do not know. Right? So that kind of a manager hypothesis or assumes that the person has all the potential, doesn't validate it, and even that goes wrong. So the next question which comes up is for participants to look at and think about, what should I really hypothesize as? Should I assume that the team member which I have has the potential and I allot him the work? Or should I assume that the person doesn't have the potential and I should support and scaffold? Do you think one or two? Do let me know your views on that. And how often should I validate? Is validation the right method of managing a person? And how often should this hypothesis and validate together work? Should it be a one-time process a year, 3 times process a year, 4 times process a year, day in, day out, or for a certain job role? These are the questions which I want to put forward to you when you look at potential of a person. So going beyond from qualification to hypothesis to validate, repeat, or to be here is the question which I have for you to think about. Deepak Da?
Add to what Sumit said. If those of you who are familiar with a concept called Johari window, there is the fourth box in a Johari window which says, I do not know about myself, others do not know about myself. That is my unknown self. And to me, that is where lies the potential. Most of us do not know what is our potential. Do you agree with me? We never look at ourselves in terms of a potential that we could have. And we discover ourselves as we go forward. And one of the ways that I have seen good managers develop people is by pushing them to discover their own potential. And for that, it is important to formulate hypothesis, as Sumit said. The hypothesis is based on several things. It is based on qualification, it is based on past experience, it is based on expertise already with the person, it is based on the attitude that the person has, many things that formulates the hypothesis. I mean, I'm sure you have some people in the team who may be at the junior most level, but for very many critical tasks, that person is your go-to woman or man, because you know that due to variety of reasons, this task is best suited for this person. So what happens? Did that person know that potential before? No. Perhaps as a manager, we discovered that potential. So what is important for us to do, and this is one message which I want to give out very strongly, that potential is not static. It is dynamic. And we really need to expose people in varied situations. Some situations which are related, some are unrelated, some are absolutely disconnected, some are connected. But the point that I'm trying to make is that potential of each one of us is something which we must try to look at it in a dynamic framework, A. And B, it is not only the responsibility of the manager to let me have look at my potential. I must push myself for doing things that I feel I can do but have never tried before. That's absolutely critical for us to learn our, to discover our potential. And those people who look at the purpose and look at their potential and try to find an intersection between the two to achieve a performance often do it because of the word which is written there, that is passion.